I was something of an Instagram addict. I had thousands of followers, some classmates, and most of them were fake bot accounts I picked up through like for like and follow for follow schemes. My profile was public. I ignored all the internet safety lessons from school, convinced they didn't apply to me. I was just a normal teenager living a normal life. School, boy bands, social media, rinse and repeat. That normal shattered quickly. I posted every day. Selfies, group pics, anything I thought would boost engagement. I usually got hundreds of likes and dozens of comments. Most were flattering or flirty, the typical teenage hype. I always made a point to like every comment in return. It felt like I owed that to my Insta fans. Then one morning, I noticed someone new. A new user named Draco Danny 94 had liked every post on my profile. Not unusual. I assumed he wanted a like back, but when I clicked on his profile, it was completely empty. No posts, no followers, no bio. Weird, but I brushed it off. A few days later, Danny started commenting. While others wrote pretty or cute, his comments were off. On a selfie that had captioned Damon chose, as in my friend Damon had chosen the photo, he wrote, "I hope Damon isn't your boyfriend. That would be a real shame, hot stuff." I didn't know him, and we had no mutual followers. I ignored the comment, chalking it up to creepy internet attention, but it didn't stop. On a group photo I posted where I stood beside a guy friend, Danny commented, "Who's the guy next to you? Hope he's not your boyfriend. He's not even as hot as me." The comments spread to my group chat like wildfire. Everyone asked who he was. When I told them I had no clue, they dared me to reply. Reluctantly, I did. "Why do you care, stranger?" Instead of replying to me in public, he sent me a DM. "We don't have to be strangers, Emma." His message instantly rubbed me the wrong way. I replied bluntly, asking who he was. He answered, "You don't know me, but I know you more than you think." I didn't understand what he meant, and I told him I was going to bed. He replied immediately, "Come on, Emma, it's only 10 p.m. Don't be boring." He brought up one of my posts, saying, "Judging by your Insta, you seem wild. Partying on a Thursday? Weren't you tired at school the next day?" Now I was uneasy. That party hadn't been public knowledge. Not even my close friends knew I'd stayed out late. I brushed it off, thinking he'd guessed. Maybe a lucky shot in the dark. Then came the message that chilled me. "Come on, Emma, we both know you're not sleeping. You're on your phone. I hate liars." I froze. How did he know I was still on my phone? And then came another message. "Emma, chill out. You'll wake your father up." I hadn't posted anything about my dad. He couldn't have known that, could he? Panic set in. I peeked out the window. Nothing. I checked the locks. Everything was shut. I told myself he was bluffing, trying to scare me. Then more messages came, rapid fire. "So Emma, you like parties, huh?" "Me too. Don't ignore me. We just started talking. Can I call you Em? Em's a cool nickname, right?" I told him again to leave me alone and said goodnight, hoping that'd be enough. But it wasn't. After a few minutes of scrolling through YouTube to distract myself, another ping. "Come on, Emma. Don't lie again. I can see you." That was it. I called 911. As the phone rang, another message came. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I hesitated and then hung up. I asked him what he wanted. His reply was chillingly simple: to be friends. And then he said to let him in. I locked the window, closed the curtains. Another message: Emma, open the damn curtains. He was watching. Terrified, I crept downstairs. My dad was asleep on the couch. I didn't wake him. I wasn't sure he'd even believe me. I stood frozen in the hallway. Emma, don't do anything stupid, he messaged. I'm warning you. I ignored him and grabbed a knife from the kitchen. He messaged again. Why don't you let me in? We could talk, have a drink or two. I don't know much about you yet. That was it. I called 911 again, hands trembling. This time, I stayed on the line. I told the operator everything about the messages, how he knew things he shouldn't, how I thought someone was outside. They asked for my address. I gave it. Are you home alone? As soon as I was going to reply to that, I heard a tap on the window behind me. I froze. The tapping continued, slow and deliberate. My hands clenched, the knife tighter. I ducked beneath the dining room table, heart hammering. Another ping. What is wrong with you? I was kind to you. You slutty teens are all the same. The operator stayed on the line, trying to calm me. I mumbled a response, still staring at my phone. Finally, flashing blue lights flooded the house. The police had arrived. They didn't find him, but they did find a knife and a pair of binoculars outside my bedroom window. I didn't sleep that night. The officers figured he had run away when he saw the patrol cars. They tried to trace his account, but Instagram claimed that it didn't exist anymore. Deleted. Gone. No fingerprints on the knife. Nothing. Like he'd never been there. But I had the screenshots. Proof I wasn't making it up. After that, everything changed. I set my account to private. Stopped posting. My followers dropped, but I didn't care anymore. It wasn't worth it. I think about it often, how different things could have been if I hadn't taken his messages seriously, if I hadn't checked the window, if the police hadn't come in time. I never heard from Dracodaney 94 again. Let's hope it stays that way. I really love Instagram. It's probably the app I spend most of my time on. I don't have a big following or anything, but I love to share pictures. Guess it's pretty normal for a teenage girl like me. In my time on Instagram, I saw a fair share of weird things. There was, of course, the spam, bots, and fake accounts who would comment on your content. Then there was nudity. For a site that has strict policy against this, you sure stumble upon a lot of it. There was one thing that was a bit creepier. There was a guy who had a crush on my friend Lisa. We found his Instagram by accident and saw that he had shared dozens of pictures of her on the account. 2 weeks ago though, I found something else that was way more creepy. It was an account by the name of Cutesy52. It didn't even have any followers, but it had posted a fair amount of pictures. At first, I thought it was a regular account. When I scrolled through the pictures, I saw that they were all of young girls. Probably the account of some guy who posted pictures of girls he found attractive, I thought. As I continued to scroll, I realized that they were all my age or even younger. After a while, I noticed something even more unsettling. All the pictures were unprofessional and seemed to have been taken in secret. Here was a picture of a blonde girl on her way to school. There was a picture of a brown-haired girl on a bus. It went on like that. What the hell was this? Was this account of some creepy stalker or something? I decided to check out the comments on the newest picture. It was of a young girl with dark hair at a train station. I already knew what I'd find: lots of perverted comments. When I started to read through, I found none of that. All I saw were smiles and thumbs up. I'd have written off as nothing but spam if not for the numbers. In between all the spam, a random number would be posted. The first one was 300, followed by 500, and going all the way up to 1200. When I clicked on one of the many posters, all I found was either an empty profile or a suspended one. I continued on with the pictures, but all I found was more of the same: spam and numbers, nothing else. In the end, I told myself it was an account of some perverted creep and left it alone. To be honest, I'd completely forgotten about it until today. I'd gotten home from school and was about to check my emails. I used one of the popular German email providers. It's one of those pages that is stacked with news articles and other recommended ones. Most of it is rubbish or celebrity gossip. Today, though, I saw that one article was about a missing young girl. As I clicked on it, I read that a young 15-year-old girl named Emily had been missing for a few days now. The girl had apparently vanished near a train station on her way to school. There was something about her picture though. I had seen it somewhere before, but I couldn't say where. Maybe in a newspaper? It was later that day in the evening that I went on Reddit to search for something interesting. It was half an hour later that I had found a thread about one of those weird internet mysteries. When someone mentioned Instagram, I suddenly remembered the creepy account I'd seen 2 weeks ago. It took me a while of searching through my history, but I found it again. I was about to copy the link and start a thread when I noticed something. The latest picture of the account, the dark-haired girl at the train station. As I stared at it, I knew why I'd recognized the 15-year-old girl in the news article. This was her. This was Emily, the young girl that was missing. I checked the comments once more, but it was all the same: spam and numbers. I was so utterly creeped out. I copied the link of the profile and sent it to one of my friends on WhatsApp, but she didn't read it. I was constantly cursing at her. It was half an hour later that she finally read the message and said, "Oh, Miss Popular has got another stalker, hasn't she?" As I read it, I didn't know what she was talking about. "Wait, what do you mean, Nicole? Do you know the girl?" No reply. I sent her another message and then another one. Finally, I called her. She picked up and said, "What's up?" I replied, "Nicole, what are you talking about? You know the girl in the picture?" She said, "Well, of course, I'd recognize you anywhere." As she said this, the phone almost dropped from my hands. "What the hell are you talking about?" She said, "That picture of you. Guess some creepy stalker has a crush on you. Isn't that what happened to Lisa?" I didn't listen anymore. What the hell was she talking about? I immediately hung up. With shaking fingers, I clicked on the link again. With each passing second, I cursed at my computer to load the profile. When it finally did, the phone dropped from my hands. Right there at the top of the profile, there was a new picture. It was me standing in front of a store in the mall. It was from this afternoon. When I checked the comments, I saw the same thing I'd seen before. Smileys and numbers. They were all posted recently. I refreshed the page and saw the numbers climb up. Finally, when I refreshed it again and again, I got an error message. Sorry, this page is not available. Whatever I tried, nothing turned up anymore. Searching for the account name on Google or any other information, nothing turned up. For all I know, the account is completely gone. And now I'm sitting here typing this out. I can't make sense of what I just saw there. I kept telling myself that this was the account of some pervert or stalker. That picture of Emily though, those numbers, it was all too strange. I'm starting to think that there was something terrible going on. I just pray to God that I'm not in danger. A week ago, my boyfriend Greg flew to Greece with his family. It was the first time we had been apart since we started dating 6 months ago, and I missed him more than I expected. The night before his flight, we clung to each other. I cried, felt ridiculous for being so emotional, but unable to stop myself. Greg, ever the cynic about technology, had a surprise for me. As I sniffled into his hoodie, he told me to check my Instagram. To my shock, a new account had just followed me, a brand new profile with a photo of me kissing him on the cheek as the display picture. Greg had finally joined social media. It felt like a gift, a way to stay close. He knew how much I loved Instagram. Seeing updates from him would make the distance bearable. From the moment he landed, I was glued to my phone. Greg posted constantly photos from the airport, the plane, meals shared with his family, everything. There were group shots of his parents, his sister Sarah, and scenic views of Greek beaches. I watched them all unfold in real time, liking every post, commenting like crazy. I was proud. Our friends noticed, strangers started liking his photos. He was getting popular, and I couldn't stop refreshing his feed. I remember admiring a picture of him with his mom. She looked genuinely sweet. And a family shot in a city square. That's when I first noticed it. In the background, behind Greg, Sarah, and their dad, was a figure. Vague, almost indistinguishable, but there, just standing in the distance, looming. I assumed it was a tourist or a photobomb. I even joked about it in a comment, thinking Greg would tease me later. He called that evening. His voice over the line brought me an instant comfort. We shared stories and laughs. He told me about people he had met, other travelers, a French guy he couldn't quite figure out, and a local Greek girl named Karis, who had quickly bonded with Sarah. It sounded like he was having fun. When I brought up the figure in the photo, he was confused. He hadn't noticed anything unusual. That unsettled me, but I brushed it off. Maybe it was just a trick of the light. The next day, Greg posted more pictures. Sunsets, vibrant alleyways, and a new selfie with Sarah and Karis. I was smiling at my phone until I spotted it again. The figure, further down the street this time, but undeniably present. always in the background, always still. I tried to convince myself it was just a coincidence, a recurring stranger, a flaw in the camera. But the photos kept coming, each one more disturbing. The figure crept closer, a smear of darkness that the light never touched. Its shape was always unclear, yet my eyes found it instantly. There was something primal about it, something that screamed wrong without explanation. Then came a set of nighttime shots. Greg and Sarah posing in the same city square, laughing under dim lights. Behind them, closer now, the figure towered like a shadow, not blurred anymore, just undefined. I stared at the photo until my vision blurred. Then somewhere in the house, a slow creak made my heart jump. My bedroom door opened. I froze, breath held, until I saw it was just my dad letting me know that he and my mom were heading out. He chuckled at my reaction, but my nerves were rattled. I couldn't explain why. The fear wasn't logical. It was like something ancient that stirred beneath the surface of my thoughts. That night, Greg's Instagram pinged again with new photos. This time, they sent me into full panic mode. In one, Greg and Sarah were sitting on a bench near a lake, eyes wide and startled. What chilled me was their expressions, not joyful, not playful, shocked. And over their mouths were hands, shadowy, misshapen hands pressing down. In another image, the bench was empty. The lake was silent, but in the distance, partly submerged, was the figure, standing still in the water. Its arms hung straight down, its fingers stretched flat against the lake surface. Between those fingers floated two shapes, two heads. I couldn't breathe. I messaged Greg in a frenzy, pleaded him to tell me he was okay. Nothing. I tried calling, no answer. I paced to my room, hands shaking. My eyes never left the last photo. Then suddenly, the message status changed. My texts were marked as read. Relief flooded through me. He was okay, just bad reception, I told myself. A message came in. Greg said everything was fine, said it had all been a joke. My stomach sank. I wanted to believe him. Maybe it was just a prank, a cruel one. I needed to see his face. I asked for a selfie. He told me to send one first. With desperation, I snapped a quick picture of myself and sent it. Then I waited. My own selfie stared back at me. At first, I saw only myself, red-eyed and pale. But then I noticed something in my pupils. A reflection, a shape behind me. I turned quickly. The room was empty. Another ping. A new image had been uploaded. Underwater. Greg and Sarah, their bodies limp, hair swirling like seaweed, eyes open, dead. And beside them, the figure, no longer a blur. Its skin was pale and rubbery, stretched too tight. Its mouth was wide, filled with perfect rows of small, childlike teeth. Yellow eyes gleamed from above. My heart stopped. I couldn't scream. I couldn't look away. Then the finger moved. Inside the photograph, it moved. It turned toward me. Its smile widened. Its lips twisted into an unfamiliar expression. Then slowly it turned away and began to swim off into the blackness, leaving Greg and Sarah behind. News came the next day. Greg and Sarah had drowned. Their parents found them in a lake. The authorities ruled it as an accident. I already knew otherwise. Greg's Instagram account vanished, just disappeared. No trace, except for the one photo he didn't delete. The selfie I sent him, it's still there, but something is wrong with it. Every time I look at it, something changes. In my eyes, in the reflections, he gets closer. I haven't looked at the photo in 2 days. I can feel him, breathing, waiting. Maybe if I never look again, he won't get in. Maybe.